Hello, and welcome to CWFS, Canada's Wildlife Foundation Show. This is our first ever episode, so sit tight and enjoy the show. I'm Aidan McDonald, the head director, producer, and anchorman. Sorry, Mom, but it's all about me this time. In this episode, we'll be looking at the Canadian Arctic and two of its inhabitants, the polar bear and the spotted seal. The Arctic is located in the far north of Canada and Alaska, and as far east as Northern Europe. Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and even Russia. The polar ice caps in this part of the world are rapidly decreasing, making it extremely hard for the animals that live here to survive. That's what we're talking about today. Adaptations and how two special animals live in a very tough, really cold environment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is CWFS. The polar bear is a beautiful animal. They have white fur with black skin underneath to attract heat from the sun and keep them warm in the Arctic's harsh, cold climate. They can travel over the ice without slipping because of the special comfort pads on the bottom of their feet. These pads squish in the ice and give grip and balance to bears while hunting for food. Polar bears also have webbing in between their toes, which help them swim fast, catch prey, or cross from one ice floe to another ice floe to another. Polar bears use dens, just like all other bears, but they do not hibernate. Like their cousins, they use these dens to survive the cold winter months because dens can increase the temperature by 38 degrees Fahrenheit, keeping them alive and warm until the spring. If the polar bear is a female with cubs, it will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks for the family to travel near the ocean to hunt for food. The spring makes the ice separate into ice floes where prey such as seals live. It also makes it easier for polar bears to swim from one ice floe to another searching for food. Even in the springtime, the ocean water temperature is below freezing. To survive, polar bears need to eat a lot of calories to build up a good layer of fat to keep them warm and help them survive the coldest months of the year. Their diet includes seals, small fish, foxes, and walruses. Walruses can be twice their size. It's like Kevin Hart trying to be Michael Jordan at basketball. Not easy, is it? When your food source is limited, you take every opportunity. Canadian Arctic polar bear, top predator of the north. Please stay with us while we take a short break to hear a word from our sponsor. Hi there, my name is Aidan McDonald. Are you a supporter of the polar bears and spotted seals? We need your help. For just a $100 donation or more, you can have either of these stuffed animals for your home. These proceeds go toward helping them survive in the climate change in the Arctic. Just use the number on your screen, 1-800-GIVE-AIDEN-YOUR-MONEY. Again, that number is 1-800-GIVE-AIDEN-YOUR-MONey. Or use the hashtag #GiveAidEnYourMoney on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. But wait, that's not all. Call within the next 10 minutes and receive a set of these figurines to go with your stuffed animals. Again, the number is 1-800-GIVE-AIDEN-YOUR-MONEY to receive your stuffed animal. Thank you and have a nice day. Welcome back. For the second half of our show, I'd like to tell you about the spotted seal and how they live and adapt to the Canadian Arctic. Spotted seal, or Poca larga, have beautiful silver fur with dark spots all over their bodies. They live near moving ice flows, so they can get into the water fast and dive up to 1,000 feet to catch food. Their special lungs can store up 90% of the air, almost allowing them to breathe underwater. This helps them be able to dive longer and deeper into the ocean. The spotted seal have their cubs on the ice, where it's safer for their family to jump in the water and escape from predators. The babies have special, soft, white fur, no spots yet, called lanugo fur. That keeps the cubs warm in this cold environment. This fur is a lot softer and acts like a bigger coat to keep the cold out and the warmth in. After 2 to 5 weeks, they lose their lanugo fur and look more like their parents, a nice silver gray, their signature dark spots, and layers of blubber to keep them warm on the ice. Because of global warming and spotted seals competing for food with commercial fisheries like Aukett cod, herring, and pollock, they are struggling to survive. The numbers are dropping a lot, and spotted seals are vital to the Canadian Arctic's food chain. If they disappear, many other animals, like polar bears, may become extinct. Let me explain to you what an ice floe is. An ice floe is...
What are you doing?
I've been CWFS, the first ever show.
On what?
Canadian Arctic, polar bear and spotted seals.
Why don't you go to the Vancouver Aquarium and go see Derek? He knows about all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Come on, let's go to the Vancouver Aquarium. Let's see Derek. Meet you there. I made it. In Canada. It's right here. Let's go. Go find Derek.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with a finger and a thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now.
Hi, I'm Aiden, and I'm here with Derek from the Vancouver Aquarium. Thank you for meeting with us, Derek.
Well, thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. Well,
What can I do for you today, eh?
I'd like you to answer some of my questions, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Why are polar bears only found in the cold Arctic?
Polar bears likely evolved in this really cold region. Although they have genetic relationships with other bears that are found further south, they've taken on special adaptations in the north. And now things like their white color, which help them to survive in the ice and snow, would not help them to survive if they were to move back down further south. They've become so well adapted that now they can only live in this place.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do polar bears hibernate like other bear species?
Pardon me?
Do polar bears hibernate like other bear species?
That's a really good question. I must admit, I would have to look to the internet to know for sure, but my instinct is that these animals do not. Just going on instinct there.
How has climate change affected the polar bear and spotted seal habitats in the Arctic?
That's a very important question to ask for your generation in particular. Climate change is causing all kinds of problems around the globe. But in the Arctic, and many other subarctic parts of the northern hemisphere, a big issue is that winter seasons are becoming warmer and milder. It's normal for some sea ice to melt in the summertime of the Arctic, but that ice would then normally refreeze in the winters. What many polar bears in the north are experiencing is winter seasons that are so mild that the temperatures never cause the ice to refreeze, and that the summer melts are taking more and more and more of that ice base away. Unable to move around on ice that is as thick as it has been in the past, polar bears are having to expend more energy to move around and spend more time in the water, which is quite energy expensive, as opposed to on land. This seems to be causing these animals to not survive as easily or for as long.
Okay. Why is the Arctic ice so important for the polar bear's survival?
A big part of the reason for it is that it's the surface. Now, here in North America, we can stomp around on land, but if you're a bear up in the Arctic and you are not swimming around in the water, the ice is all that you've got. Imagine our land disappearing from beneath our feet, and that might help us to put ourselves in a polar bear's shoes.
Okay. What is the difference between polar bears and other bear species?
Well, a big one that you might look at is, of course, the white color of their fur and the geographical range where they're naturally found. Ultimately, what distinguishes them from other species, however, is their genetic relationships. All polar bears are more closely related to one another than they are to, say, any of the grizzly bears or black bears that are found on the planet.
Okay. Could a bear such as the grizzly bear survive in the Arctic? Why or why not?
Very possibly. These animals might be at a disadvantage compared to a polar bear because the color of their fur does not allow them to blend in as well, and prey items might see them coming more easily.
Do you feel polar bears will be able to survive their climate changing so dramatically because of global warming?
I think that it's always difficult to predict the future for any species, but for polar bears in particular, we've seen some very, very scary losses in their numbers in recent generations. That said, I understand that polar bears are a group of animals that breed well under human care. It's possible that animals that are born in zoos and aquariums may one day create a generation that could have a future repopulating places where these animals have been lost.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about spotted seals now, if that's okay?
Sure.
Vancouver Aquarium, they don't have any spotted seals. However, they do have harbor seals. And harbor seals and spotted seals are very alike. Scientists believe that they used to be the exact same species until just recently when they were able to identify them to be two different species, the spotted seal and the harbor seal. They look really alike, I must say. Spotted seals live in really cold water with ice. Why is that?
Kind of like our polar bear answer, it probably has to do with where their ancestors were found. These animals have made their way further and further north, and through the generations have become accustomed to using that space as their territory. Adaptations like their thick fur and their thick layers of fat allow them to persist in these cold waters. Perhaps these animals have an easier time in the north because they don't have to compete with other less cold-tolerant species from further south.
How does the spotted seal survive in the harsh Arctic waters/climate?
A big reason that seals, sea lions, and their relatives can survive in temperatures that would be pretty uncomfortable for us is their thick layers of blubber or flabby fat. Blubber is not the usual kind of fat that we would find around our bellies, but a special type of fat that also has the properties of connective tissue. It's very dense and insulates these animals from the cold, kind of like wearing a thick coat under their skin.
Okay. Do spotted seals have different adaptations than other seals? What are they?
For one thing, these animals do have a blubber layer that is better adapted for life in the cold waters of the Arctic. I believe that the patterns on their fur are also distinct from other seal species, a quality that might not have a direct benefit for escaping from predators, but that can be useful in helping them to distinguish which seals are the same species and would be a good individual to mate with.
Are spotted seals an easy target for their predators? How?
Many kinds of seals will fall prey to predators such as polar bears that live on top of the ice when they come up to the surface for a breath of air. Particularly in places where there are few breathing spaces, it may be easy for a predator at the surface of the ice to predict when these animals are going to come up and then try to hoist them out of the water. These seals may also be targeted by marine mammals like marine mammal-eating killer whales that visit the Arctic at some times of the year.
How have spotted seals adapted to global warming?
To be honest, I haven't read any articles that directly relate spotted seal populations to changes in the amount of ice. So that would be something that I think we would both need to do a little bit more reading on online.
Okay.
I imagine, however, that because of trends that are seeing ice disappear, spotted seal populations may have more trouble establishing themselves in places where those ice levels have gone down because it creates less available room for them to look after their babies on land.
Last question for you. Why don't you have any spotted seals at the aquarium?
That's a good question. The animals that we get here at the Vancouver Aquarium are always brought to our facility for reasons like research projects, for reasons like providing a home to animals that have been rescued and no longer have the skills that they need to return to their natural habitat, as well as animals that may have been born in aquariums. Some species, like marine invertebrates and fishes from the waters of British Columbia, are also collected for display purposes. For spotted seals, as a species that are not really found in the local waters of BC, they wouldn't really fit in our wild coast gallery. Because their natural habitat is also much further north than the places that our Marine Mammal Rescue Centre usually visits, to my knowledge we've never participated in the active rescue of any of these animals.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for your time, Derek.
It's been a pleasure, Aiden, and good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. Join us today on CWFS. Join us next time when we talk about the Great Salmon Run in Shuswap Lake, BC. I'm Aiden McLellan. I'm signing off today. Oh, hey there. Are you a supporter of our friend the polar bears? Their numbers have been drastically reduced due to climate change in the Arctic. Coca-Cola will match up to $1 million of donations by viewers of CWFS. So if you'd like the chance to be a superhero and save these majestic creatures, call the number on your screen, 1-800-GIVE-AIDN-YOUR-MONEY. Again, that number is 1-800-GIVE-AIDN-YOUR-MONEY. or online at www.givingyourmoney.ca. Thank you for being a superhero and saving these animals.